Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to go buy a car, but not just any car, a very special car.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is our dealership, MG Supercars. And I have been super fortunate. I have to say this. I have been extremely fortunate. The company is doing well. I've had a really fun time playing with some Ferraris and other supercars, and I've gotten to own and drive and experience a lot of cars. And let me tell you, one of the things that's kind of strange is that when you get to drive all these cars, you start developing certain opinions and certain desires about cars that I mean, honestly, let's be real. I'm spoiled, right? And it makes it so that I'm picky. And so, first of all, I've owned a lot of Ferraris. I've owned, I think, 5 Ferraris now. So, first of all, I owned my first Ferrari, a Ferrari F430. That car started this whole thing almost a decade ago. And it was absolutely awful, actually. I had to do a lot of work to it. And that's really what inspired the beginning of all of this. And it was super fun. I love that car. And sadly, it met its demise when our shop got flooded. So that was awful. And I'm sad to say, I don't know what happens to the car after that, but I have to assume that it maybe got bought up by someone after being salvaged, maybe not. I don't know, but it's gone. As far as I'm concerned, that car is gone. Shortly after that, well, I guess it's about 3 years later, I went full in on YouTube. I was hustling on YouTube, and I decided to buy my absolute dream car, a Ferrari 458. This was amazing. I have to say that car was super awesome. I bought it for a song back then, back before Ferrari 458s were worth crazy money. It was super high spec. I love that car. It was super fun, put a ton of miles on it, and I sold it to a friend of ours in San Antonio. And so it's always kind of remained nearby, and every once in a while we'd see the car. He's even sent it up here for service a few times. So it's kind of cool to be able to see my old car here and there. Now fast forward to when the company is really going, and I ended up buying a Ferrari 599.
Hey. All right, let me hear it. Oh, I like it.
So I had that car for actually like 3 years, and part of the reason is because the plan was to buy it and then convert to a manual, but that turned into a whole thing, and I ended up having the car for a lot longer than I was supposed to. But the good news is, after it was done being converted to a manual, it was a pretty badass car, and so eventually I sold that car. Okay. Oh, yeah. So after that, well, why have one manual transmission V12 Ferrari when you can have 2? So I decided to buy a Ferrari 575 and convert that into a manual. Yes, I do believe that calls for a celebratory honk. Yes. That car actually was really fun. I really enjoyed the Ferrari 575 as a manual. As an F1, it was pretty terrible. But as a manual, it is really cool. So that car was amazing. And then, finally, the last Ferrari I owned was my 430 Scuderia. So I bought that car in Miami. Okay, YouTube, let me tell you, I've had quite a long day. It is now 7:30 in the evening. Well, I bought the car, obviously. I'm in it. And I need to drive 1,400 miles home. And I drove it all the way back to Texas, only to hit a deer about 2 miles, 3 miles from my house. So Yeah, that was, well, let's just say I screwed up. I should not have sold that car because when I sold that car, they weren't worth that much. And it was salvage title, so it was a pain in the ass to sell. And it kind of soured my taste for buying salvage cars, I'll be honest. It was a pain in the ass to sell that car. But eventually, I sold the car, and now that car is for sale for well over twice the price of which I sold it. I am a dumbass. Yeah, lesson learned there. Well, anyway, so shortly after that, I decided I wanted something else, and I ended up buying what has probably been my favorite car, my GT40. That car was absolutely insane. Amazing car. The most fun I've ever had driving anything. But there was one problem with that car. None of you really wanted to watch the videos on it. And it kind of doesn't really fall in line with what we do here. So it was, in a way, a awful use of my money. So here's the weird thing. If you look at the history of my buying these cars, yes, these are all cars that I've wanted and I've enjoyed, but this is my personal money. This isn't the business money. This is my money. And so when I choose to use my money to buy one of these cars, I have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of how much of it is a car that I want versus how much of it is a car that will help out my business. Because let's be real, this is very important to me too. Like, having fun in driving these cars is amazing, but this is how I make my livelihood, and now there's 8 people that depend on this company to do their livelihood. So anytime I can do something to make the company do better, it helps me out and it helps them out, and I think it's a better use of money. So that was the big thing, is when I first got into this whole world, I bought the 430 just for me because back then I was still working software. After a few years, I decided to buy the 458 to help the channel. Also because the 458 was my dream car. Let's be real. So when I bought that car, I owned it for a while. It did help grow the channel a lot. Crazy stuff happened, like I got pulled over and filmed on live PD.
Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc., all speeding on the highway.
Was one a red Ferrari?
Can you move, please?
He meant the other car was a Lamborghini. There's a red car right in front of me, guys. Same thing. Right there.
Yeah, I got this one. One of our deputies saw these 3 cars racing up the highway. So were you have enough for racing?
They were all behind each other, the 100 plus and 106.
Texas, personalized Nora, Robert, Mary Lincoln, George, Union, Young. Looks like a red Ferrari.
Good car.
So Deputy Duvall was driving up the highway, and these 3 sports cars were over 100 miles an hour in a line coming up the highway. One of them, he got one stopped. I believe this is another one. How you doing? Lieutenant Kennedy with the Sheriff's Office. You got your driver's license on you, please? Lieutenant Luera is also there. He's pulled over a separate vehicle. Remember, this is a report of up to 50 vehicles speeding.
I saw the same thing you did. That's why I jumped on. I could see them coming north. We observed these vehicles. There's about 6 of them. As soon as we got behind them, we started hitting pretty high rate of speed, about 106 plus miles per hour. We were able to get this one pulled over here. That's what I thought.
120 behind me.
Yeah, I was at about 106 when they started speeding away.
So are you recording all of it, all of your nefarious activities?
And that was absolutely insane. I mean, that video got well over 1 million views, and the channel was growing fast, and we did tons of work on that car and had a lot of fun. Now, the thing was, back then, as we were growing this company, it was hard, it was challenging, and it was financially stressing on myself and, of course, my family. So I had to inject a lot of money into this company to build it into what it is today. And one of the decisions that I made was to sell my 458 because I needed to free up that money to grow the business. All right, YouTube, new valve cover gasket is on. Car got its inspection, and we're just waiting for the new owner to get here. And it's gone, took off the license plate.
It'll be okay, Dad. It'll be okay.
I needed that. And when I sold it to Chad, I kind of let him know that, you know, hey, someday I would like to buy that car back. And he said, yeah, of course, if you, ever want to, and I want to sell it, let me know. Well, fast forward, it's been quite a few years, and the company is finally in a position where it's doing really well. And I finally feel like I have the ability to go buy that car back, even though 458s have gone up in crazy amounts of value. So we're going to go buy back my old Ferrari 458, or more than I sold it a few years ago, even though it's got more miles and it's older now. It's costing me more now. Now, why on earth would I be willing to do that? Well, first of all, here's the thing. After selling my GT40, kind of realized that I wanted to get something again, something fun, something that's in line with the channel's ethos of mostly playing with Ferraris. And the problem I had was I didn't know what to buy, and I was really struggling to find out what it is that makes sense for me to buy. Yes, I would love to buy another Ferrari F430. They are absolutely fantastic cars, wonderful cars, and especially once they're converted into a manual, they're outstanding cars. But I get to drive those, and again, this sounds really facetious saying it, but I drive them all the time. So it's kind of become normalized, which makes me sad in a way, but I get to drive them so much that I don't think it really is what my heart feels like I want. People are saying, oh, I should buy the Superleggera. And I really, really, really thought about that. And I do love the Superleggera. And I came very, very close to buying it until my wife said, absolutely not. Two big things. One, she hates yellow. I'm forbidden from ever owning yellow cars. And second of all, this particular example, granted this can be changed, but the exhaust on this car is too much. It is way too loud. So we would have to change out the exhaust. But anyway, she heard that car and she was like, no way in hell. I'm not allowing that in my garage. You know what? Meg's put up with a lot of shit over the years. I'll give her some, I'm not going to push it. I push it on a lot of things. I don't need to push it on that. Not worth the political capital. I love you, Meg. So it was like, what else could I get? I wanted to buy a 458 again. I love the 458. It is my favorite Ferrari. I've said this 1,000 times. I think the 458 is simply the best car ever made, period. End of story. Not just the best Ferrari. It's the best car ever made. One problem with that. They are way out of my price range at this point. I cannot afford a 458 right now, except my old one, because it's got a shit ton of miles. So that was one of the factors. The second factor is I'm spoiled. I've seen and driven so many of these cars that the only way I'd be willing to buy a 458 is if it was one of my dream specs. And they're impossible to find good 458s right now, let alone the specs that I want. And so that made it so it's like, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to spend $400,000+ to buy a 458 right now, because that's about what it would cost to get one of my dream spec 458s with reasonable miles. I'm spoiled. I really want it to have carbon fiber everywhere. I want to have carbon fiber seats. I want the axle lift. Got to have the carbon fiber steering wheel. Got to have the rear camera. And, there's other things I want, like full PPF and a good sounding exhaust and this and that and da-da-da and so on and so on. Well, my old car checks all those boxes except one. It does not have carbon fiber seats, but it has the red Daytona seats with black stripes. And I love that spec. It is, in my opinion, the coolest 458 ever made. And I know everything about it. I owned it from about 16,000 miles until like 50-something thousand miles or something. I can't even remember now. And now it's only got a few more thousand miles than when I sold it. So yeah, it just makes sense. It makes sense. So we're going to go buy my old Ferrari 458. Hilariously, we're actually going to buy two cars from our friend Chad. Josh was like, hey, quick story time. Chad was actually about to sell my 458 to our other friend, Christian. And Christian had asked Josh to come down and take pictures and videos of his Ferrari F430, which is for sale on consignment through our dealership. So when he did that, Christian said, hey, I'm thinking about buying Dan's old 458 that Chad owns right now. Could you go check it out for me real quick and make sure it doesn't need anything? So Josh said, sure. Drives over to Chad's place, checks it out. And while he was there, he realized that Chad had a Mercedes-Benz CL that was owned by Hoovy. So, yes, this whole supercar world is so intertwined. This is why you don't, by the way, quick sidetrack. This is why you don't piss off people in the supercar world, because everyone's only like one step away from everyone else. So just tread lightly and be nice to everyone. You should do that anyway in life, but especially in this particular community because it's very small. So anyway, he had offered to buy the CL from Chad. Chad said no thanks. Well, last night we were on our live stream, which was an amazing live stream on our vlog channel, Normal Guy Premium, which, by the way, you should go check it out and subscribe to that channel and go watch our vlogs every week on Saturday and our live streams every other Thursday night. But anyway, we're just talking about like, what car should I get? What car should I get? Because I've been thinking about this for months and I was just stumped. And finally, everyone's like, dude, you should just make an offer on your old car and see if Chad will take it. And the more they talked about it, the more I realized, like, yeah, these guys are right. Like, that was my dream car. That was my second favorite car I've ever owned. GT40, number one. 458, really, 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 really close, but number two. I don't think the GT40 makes sense for the channel. Therefore, why not get the second favorite car I've ever owned back? Makes sense. So I threw him an offer, and we went back and forth a few times and decided on an agreement to buy not just the 458, but also the CL for Josh. So that's what we're going to do this morning. It is dark 30. We got to go hook up the trailer and drive to San Antonio, and we're going to go buy two cars, a Ferrari 458 and a Mercedes CL. So you see, the sun is just rising. The moon is still out. It's a full moon. And I got to get the trailer hooked up. So I'm going to do that. But I am super excited. Today is going to be a glorious day. So do me a favor. Go check out normalguysupercar.com, our parts and services website. That's how you can support us. Also, ngsupercars.com, our dealership website. And of course, like, share, and subscribe. All those things help us out. And I just want to make a quick, heartfelt thank you to all of you. I mean this sincerely. Today, buying this car back is because of you. You guys have enabled me to do this. You guys have supported us. You guys literally provide for 8 people's families. I don't know how. I'm getting teary thinking about that. That's incredible. You guys have bought cars from us. You've watched our videos. You've bought merchandise from us. You've bought parts for your cars from us. You've listened to us for years and years talking about these cars, and it's been wonderful, absolutely amazing. When we meet people who have seen our videos, we go out in public and we're at some Ferrari event or something like that, and people come up and they're like, I bought a Ferrari because of you. It is so awesome, so powerful, and sincerely, thank you. Today is a testament to all of you and how much you've supported me. And I've come full circle. I had to sell the car to grow the business, and the business has gotten to a point where I can buy that car back, even though it's more expensive than it was when I sold it. But how awesome is that? How incredible is that that gamble to sell the car to help fund the business has paid off? It took a while. It's been, I think, about 4 or 5 years. Actually, I should look that up just for curiosity's sake. It's been a few years. So anyway, I'm going to hook up the trailer. Let's go to San Antonio before I start crying like a little baby. I truly am grateful. Thank you so much. Oh, and a quick side note, if you do want to support us, you can buy cool t-shirts from us, like this one, the Ferrari 458 butt t-shirt. I figured I gotta wear it since I'm buying back my old 458. But anyway, it's on our website, normalguysupercar.com. All right, pickup is a success. So Josh and Greg came with me. They're actually in the Mercedes-Benz that Josh bought. So it's a SL 560 or something. I don't know anything about Mercedes. But anyway, it's got a V12 and it looks pretty cool. And apparently the original MSRP and something like that was like well over $200,000. So it's like less than 10% of its original value. Insane. I'll have to show you that car. We'll have to do some reviews on it and take it out for a spin or something like that because it looks pretty cool. But we're gonna go straight to my house and drop this thing off because there's literally no room at the shop. We don't have any available space. So I'm gonna go home, drop it off, which means I also gotta move shit around in my garage because I haven't had a car for so long that, you know, stuff just kind of took over in the garage and it became a garage for stuff and not a garage for cars. So we're gonna turn it back into a spot for cars, which is great. So let's get home, drop off this thing, take the trailer back to the shop, show you all about the car, show you its current condition. It's, you know, it's been a while. He said he's had it for 5 years, and he said he drove it 9,000 miles. I thought it was like 3 or 4. Honestly, so many things happen. I have no idea. He's probably right. It's probably been 9,000 miles. But just little things that I need to fix on it. There's been a persistent weird check engine light for the secondary air injection. So I do want to try and figure out what the hell's going on with that. He's spent a lot of time and energy chasing that problem, and it's still there. So they've replaced tons of parts and spent tons of money on it. He's had us do stuff on it, and nothing seems to fix it. So we have a few ideas of what else it could be based on everything else that's been replaced. So we'll try and get that fixed. There's a few other things we got to take care of on the car, like I said. So I'm going to try and make it like really, really nice again. Not that it's not nice. It just, you know, it can be nicer. I mean, it's got 50-something thousand miles on it. So, you know, it's got a little bit of age. It's showing a little bit of wear. But honestly, it's still in remarkably amazing condition. Like, we see cars with 15,000 miles that look far worse shape than this car. It's impressive. So I'm really pleased with it. The more I'm staring at it, the more I'm like, shit, yeah, I can't believe I bought back my old 458. This is awesome. I'm so excited. This is so cool. Well, YouTube, you remember this car? I love this car. It's second favorite car I've ever owned, and it is absolutely incredible. All right, let's get it off the trailer. I gotta move around shit in the garage. As you can see, my garage has become less optimized for vehicles. So the question is whether or not the lawnmower will actually fit in the garage with the car. If we cram everything elsewhere, it might fit, but I'm not optimistic. So we'll try. See what happens. All right, had to do a little reorganization of my garage, but check it out. Fit the car and the lawnmower. I have to jam the lawnmower up on the lip there, but works pretty good. I may end up like moving that crap and maybe jamming the mower that way. That might be easier, but I'll have to move all that shit out of the way. So for now, this is good enough for today. I can reorganize this later. And look at that. I actually have enough spot that I can actually get by and still get to my tool chest. So obviously can't get in those drawers, but honestly I don't go in those drawers that often. So I'm content. I don't know if you guys remember, but this car has lots of carbon fiber. It has the Rosso Daytona seats with the black inserts. Probably need to get that refinished a little bit. I'll have our leather guy take care of that. The seats look like they could use a little bit of love. The leather up on the front of the dashboard is awful. We will take care of that. And we'll clean up some other stuff. There's some just stuff to clean up. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
I spent a lot of money today.
I know.
You're not happy.
Well, I mean, it's a relative level of unhappiness having a supercar. The car is less annoying than the GT40. Sorry,
That's true.
It
has good air conditioning and it's comfortable, and you can get in and out.
It's not stupid loud.
Yeah, it's reasonable. It has valves so it can make it louder or quieter.
I know.
It looks really good.
He does. He's looking good.
It was well taken care of while I was gone. Can you believe it's been 5 years?
No.
It's been over 5 years.
Wow. Time flies.
I know.
You can put your normal guy thing back.
I thought about that, and I can put the Basotto Rampante
back.
Uh-huh.
You still have them, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think I might have to do that.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's yours, you should put the Basotto on it.
Yeah. Well, it needs a little bit cleanup, but we'll be doing a bunch of cool stuff with it. So I would say you should probably like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Go to normalguysupercar.com. Check out our parts and services. And go to NG Supercars, our dealership website. I'm ecstatic. This is great. And we'll see you in the next one. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.